Arlo the brave albatross, conqueror of the stormy sky in the vast blue skies above the endless ocean, where waves shimmered like liquid silver under the sun, a flock of albatrosses began their annual migration. It was a spectacular sight, dozens of birds with long, graceful wings gliding effortlessly over the rolling waves. Among them was Arlo, the youngest and smallest of the flock. Arlo loved the sky more than anything, but he had always felt a little overlooked. His feathers weren't as shiny as Luna's, and he wasn't as strong as Captain Cedric, the leader of the flock. Still, Arlo dreamed of doing something extraordinary, something that would show everyone what he was capable of. One morning, as the flock took flight, the air smelled different, heavy and salty. "Storm's brewing," muttered Grandpa Albert, the eldest albatross, as he scanned the horizon with his wise old eyes. Dark clouds were gathering far away, their edges tinged with ominous shades of gray and purple. Arlo felt a flutter of excitement and fear. A storm? Maybe this is my chance to prove myself, he thought. But Grandpa Albert's next words quickly dampened his enthusiasm. "This won't be a small one," he warned. "Stick together, everyone. In a storm, teamwork keeps us safe." The flock nodded solemnly and continued flying. For hours, the sky darkened until it seemed like twilight had fallen, even though the sun was high above. The wind began to howl, and waves rose like giant hands reaching for the sky. Suddenly, the storm unleashed its fury. Thunder cracked like a whip, and rain lashed at the albatrosses, making it hard to see or hear. Lightning streaked across the sky, illuminating frightened faces. The flock struggled to stay together, but the powerful gusts of wind began to scatter them. "Help!" cried a young albatross named Pip as a sudden gust sent him spiraling downward. Arlo didn't think twice. With a determined flap of his wings, he dived after Pip, catching him just before he hit the churning waves. "Hold on to me!" Arlo shouted over the roar of the storm. As they climbed back into the sky, Arlo realized the flock was in chaos. Birds were flying in every direction, their cries of panic swallowed by the wind. Arlo's heart pounded. He was scared too, but he remembered Grandpa Albert's words. "Teamwork keeps us safe." Taking a deep breath, Arlo called out as loudly as he could, "Everyone, follow me! Stay together and we'll get through this." First, no one heard him. But then Luna, who had been circling nearby, saw Arlo's determined flight and began following him. "Arlo's right. We need to stick together," she called, her voice carrying over the storm. One by one, the other albatrosses noticed and joined Arlo's formation. Leading a group this large through a storm was no easy task, but Arlo didn't waver. He used his sharp eyes to watch for lightning and his keen sense of the wind to guide the flock away from the most dangerous currents. Hours passed as the storm raged on, but Arlo kept going, even when his wings ached and every gust of wind felt like a wall pushing him back. "We can do this," he whispered to himself. "Just a little further." Finally, through the curtain of rain, Arlo spotted a tiny island surrounded by jagged rocks. It wasn't the perfect landing spot, but it was safe enough to rest. "This way," he called, diving toward the island. Carefully, he guided the flock around the rocks, making sure everyone landed safely. When the last albatross touched down, the flock erupted into cheers. "Arlo, you saved us," Pip said, his voice filled with gratitude. Luna nodded, her feathers still glistening with rain. "You were incredible, Arlo. You kept us together when everything seemed hopeless." Grandpa Albert stepped forward, his eyes twinkling with pride. "You showed great courage today, Arlo. But more importantly, you reminded us that teamwork and trust are what truly keep us strong." Arlo blushed but smiled. For the first time, he didn't feel small or overlooked. He felt like a true part of the flock, someone they could rely on. The storm passed by morning, leaving the sky clear and bright. As the flock prepared to take off again, Arlo stood at the front, ready to lead. This time, there was no hesitation, and so Arlo the brave albatross led his flock across the endless ocean, proving that even the smallest bird can achieve great things when they have the courage to try and the heart to care for others' moral values. Courage. True bravery is about facing challenges even when you're scared. Teamwork. Great things can be achieved when we work together and support each other. Vocabulary for kids. Ominous. A sign that something bad might happen. Example, the dark clouds. It looked ominous before the storm began formation. A group arranged in a specific way. Example, the albatrosses flew in a V-shaped formation to conserve energy. Determined, not giving up even when something is hard. Example, Arlo was determined to guide his flock through the storm.